Sorry, technical difficulties here. Usually the webcam is not an issue. We're gonna see if we're gonna see if we can use it. If not, we might have to switch to something else. For now, both thingies are working. Hello. Had some technical difficulties. Apologies on that. As usual. Usually the webcam is not an issue. It looked like it was freezing a little bit. So if that continues, we might have to do something about that. For now, I think we're good. I have the stream here. I will link. There we go. Relatively simple thumbnail this time. Weirdly, one of the more difficult ones I had to do. I would have loved to have had a good light source, just really just like drown the background in light. And then if I had that, I would have had it. And I tried this with a light, with one of the lights I have. I would have had it face on, just like Ponygon up, looking up, kind of arms spread out like an angel. It just wasn't. I tried it, and it was in front of a ceiling fan, and that kind of ruined the effect. I was like, it's not going to be a ceiling. I'm not going to do a ceiling fan. So I decided to eventually just go with something simple. Hey, Zatch Gamer, what's up? Trying to do this. Oh, yeah, I can stay very still on these streams, so it makes me think the webcam is broken, which it was at the start of the stream, so if that, hopefully that doesn't happen again. Just opening the manga and everything to the correct degree here. Okay, it's, yeah, I could have done something like that. It's just not the way I work for these, you know what I mean? It's more of a hobby. It would have been a good thumb, so maybe next time I will consider doing something like that. Anyway, I think we can get started. Probably have a lot to talk about this chapter. Not much been going on in my life. Work's been pretty busy. Oscars are coming up. I'm excited about that. I still have quite a bit to catch up on for that. I'm in the middle of Emilia Perez, which is maybe the villain of this year's Oscar season. And that's okay. I'm trying to go into it with an open mind. After that, there might be a couple more I want to watch that are nominated, but honestly, I think I've seen most of what I need to be in a good place to check it out and root for the right stuff. Anyway, I think we can get started with this chapter. So previously, Momon was really struggling to get this spell vial with Ponygon spells out of the fort. It was Elios, I think. And he was being pursued by Moses and his men, and also this beast. This beast, what is it called? Now I'm forgetting. Libra. Excuse me. And he has struggled maybe more than anyone we've ever seen struggle at this point in the series. He's gotten more beat up than Conchame. That's a close one, though. Than Tia. Than Kyo and Gang and Zatch at the start. Momon has gotten more beat up than all of them. He seems almost gone. He seems like he's fading, But just as he had lost all hope, and we're going to leave everything in the last chapter, right? This isn't a stream to re-review the last chapter. It's time to be happy and excited about certain someone's return. So just as he's about to lose all hope, help arrives in the form of first Barry, then Zatch Kyo with special guests Sister L, and Kafka Sunbeam with a mysterious sarcophagus behind him and a shining spellbook. This can only mean perhaps the imminent return of a certain horse. The only one I can think of who had it worse was Ziggy. Yeah, that may be true. I tend to forget Ziggy. He was just he was separated before he died. So we have Momon crying. Sort of can't believe what he's seeing, almost. Zatch and Kyo and Sunbeam, the book. Sister L crying, she embraces Momon. Sunbeam with a determined look on his face. Barry, surprised even, to see Zatch and Kyo, who up to this point he probably thought was dead, Zatch. And the shining spell, of course, Barry smiles, as he knows now victory is pretty much assured. Giraga Babirugu! This huge, weird slug, I think this is a projectile, comes up out of Libra. This is a weird spell. For those electric spells, might have also been Bebiru spells. I don't remember. This looks quite different from those. It's weird. It's spiky. It almost looks like a Rio or Leo spell. Looks like it would cause quite a bit of damage if it hit. But Barry is not deterred. With a mighty scream, he slashes right through it. Pretty much slashes with his hand. He tends to attack like this, I believe, with his hand sort of held out like that, fingers extended. He slashes through this biomass, exploding it. It's an eye that comes out. Momon, are you absolutely sure that Umagon spells are inside that bottle? Let me know if my voice is too loud, please. Momon can't even talk, but Elle remembers. My memory serves to Umagon. Yeah, so Garago was part of the lightning spell, so it's a real mystery of what the frick Momoto this was too. I almost wonder if at this point Raikou was setting something up with these spells, because they're bizarre now. Not only is it lightning, but it's what is this thing? So that's interesting. Yes, I'm positive. Kafka-san. She throws in the vial. He catches it. Libra, meanwhile, is crawling, probably quite slowly, up to the roof. Kafka dumps the spell element, out onto the spellbook. The soul flies out of the box, just as we saw with Brago. Enters into the sarcophagus. And then, of course, it begins to crack. Let me see. I gotta make sure this is just right. All right, hold on. Hand in. Okay. End. Wait, I gotta open the page again. Can't see the page. MERU, MERU, MERU! There we go. Yay, he's out! It only took 30 seconds. So everyone's happy. Everyone's staring on in joy. Zatch, Kyo, Sister L, and of course Sunbeam has tears in his eyes, elated at the revival of his partner, who's now a big, beefy horse. He's a big boy. Normal proportions, but he's still very large, as we'll see in the next page. He does not have his cool spiky hair from his end of series appearance. But he has a lot of hair, and he has a very nice tuft coming out from his chest, kind of like the dog. You know that dog? The dog has a name. I forget what his name is. It's like a Chinese name. The dog that Zatch was friends with. Ponygon has that now, and he's full size. And it's interesting to see the difference between the quote-unquote full horse Ponygon that we saw from Shin Shudaruk, and then this actually grown-up Ponygon. Umagon! That's Sunbeam saying that, I think. Meru, meru, meh! Sunbeam kind of hug, Ponygon crying a little bit. Momon is happy too, but he's almost out. He's barely got any consciousness left. Yeah, woo, yes. Thank you. Gashan, Kafka-san, please, we must help Momon. He needs first aid right this second. Barry, if I'm not mistaken, this building is the Elio stronghold, right? That's Zatch talking. It is? Sunbeam don't know. Which spells can you read in the book? Go Shudoruk and Shupaku. Just those two. I'd love to do a German accent. I'm not confident enough. No. Even with Go Shudoruk, it would still take more than 10 days to get to Tio at the Dragon Fort. It's so far away. That won't work. You'd never make it in time. There's an infirmary in the Elio stronghold that could help. I used to use the Ponygon puppet for this character. Not anymore. This child here is named Dot. Yes, it is the young, Ewok lion cub boy who Momon found. Do you think you could lead the way to the infirmary? Yeah. I don't know if there are any magic doctors around, but I'm sure we can find some medicine. MERU, me! I'm not sure exactly what he's doing here. I think he's saying, like, get on. You know, they can't just get on him by climbing up anymore. He has to kind of get down to let them on. So finally, the monster Libra arrives, and it has evolved since we last saw it. Along with the tentacles, it now has actual limbs and claws, along with some eyeballs in some of these hands. The tentacles it does have evolved. They have like weird stalks coming from them, and it now has yet another eyeball on its chest. Moses is done self-repairing. He has a big elephant band-aid that he slaps on his midsection. Good. Libra is growing in both size and power. The spells have been fully assimilated. I've used this voice in this series like 6 times. I don't have the most range, okay? Everyone knows what they need to do, right? You get a classic shot. Sunbeam on Ponygon. Let's go. With Sister L and Momon behind and Dot in front. Zatch looks back at Ponygon. Nods. Go Shudoruk! MERU! Off to the races. Go Shudoruk! Looks similar. I don't know if there's any differences, any major differences. We also saw Go Shudoruk a little bit on the Raiku's bike. The sticker on Raiku's bike. Let's do this, Barry. Wouldn't you guys have been better off with the other group? No, don't be like that. Aren't you glad I'm alive and that you have a reliable ally to help you out? I ate lots and lots of food. I feed on demons' spells, digest them all, and get bigger. My spells now, they make me strong. We'll get Momon too, and Moses cut him open. Giraga gone to Raburagan! Cast a massive spell, another lightning spell, which makes a huge amount of lightning come from all of his upper appendages. Huge storm. Zatch is not deterred. Kyo's book shines. Barry jumps. Both jump at the same time. Yeah, hell yeah! This is basically a team fight, folks. We're in there. We've had light team fights before, but this is kind of on another level. Even though Barry can't use spells, we have Kyo riding on Zatch's mantle. Which is this the first time he's done that in this series? That was a move from the end of the first series, the final arc. It's cool to see that. Weirdly, it looks cool. I don't know how Raikou accomplished that. Zakaraga! Fighting lightning with lightning. So they use Zakaraga to block the electricity from reaching Barry's. Barry charges. Barry does another strike, fingers outstretched as usual. You have him right where you want him, Libra! Use short-range spells! Giraga Mabarudo! He used this against Momon, I believe. Barry is breathing in, breathing out, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here fully. Zatch usually has very readable action. I'm not sure. He's grabbing the two appendages with the eyeballs, despite the explosion. You're just sort of toughing it out, I think. And he's like, I think moving the bottom two up towards the top two, and then sort of combining that and pushing them together, and either neutralizing them, or like I said, just kind of letting the spell go and toughing it out. His hands are getting a little damaged. I don't know if he's twisting a little to like do some sort of move to like push the energy out. Love to see this animated. Clearly he's fine. So it seems to have been some sort of counter, because Libra does get damaged from this. I forget if it was Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan who did this, but Ultra Instinct Goku had the same technique. I don't remember that. I'd like to see how he used that. It is clearly some kind of kung fu thing with the twisting, the redirection of energy, right? So Libra's damaged by this. Barry jumps up. Chioma Barudo! So this, I think must be a Zophis spell, right? But it appears to have a lightning element with it. Well, was Libra using Zophis spells, or he was using Zophis spells, right? Before? I'm trying to think. Or was that... No, that was someone else. That was that Gunther's guy who was using Zophis spells? It's another big monster. We did see Zophis spells. This has... this has Teo, but that's not a Zophis... that's not a Zophis word. It's not a Zophis spell element, Zophis was just the first Teo spell that we saw. So this probably is not a Zophis spell. It might be. It has electricity. It has, I don't know, like some kind of weird, popcorn of the skin. And then there's spikes coming out. I don't know what the deal is with this spell. Also similar to the one before. Well, maybe they'll correct that for the volume if it's supposed to be Tio Ma Berudo. But yeah, I got confused and thought it was a Zophis spell, which isn't. Clearly, it's actually not. It doesn't seem to deter Barry. It's weak point. So he somehow sees. I'm not sure what he sees or if he's sensing it. This strip of feigned flesh, and somehow he knows that the weak point is just under this. He jams his hand in there. The eye is looking at him once again, tanking the spell. What if it's Gash and Xeon's mother spells? LOL. No, I doubt it. That'd be interesting. Like I said, who knows, right? We might be setting something up with this. This clear does a lot of damage to Libra, which I'm not going to vocalize. And, like whenever Libra's damaged, parts of him just kind of explode. Excuse me. Extraordinary! He eviscerated half of my Libra without even using any spells. I'll heal you up good as new. But before I do, I'll need to make a few modifications first. So Moses is now here. He's slicing up Libra, pulling things out, tweezers, cutting them, poking and prodding. Meanwhile, Zatch and Kyo run at Moses here. Zakerga! Direct hit on Moses. That has some kick to it. What a rush. You're all linked up, Libra. I've made it so your shield spell will encompass your entire body now. So he puts something in his mouth, or he's like linking these two parts together with his teeth. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. After sewing this stuff together. So Moses tanking Zakerga, also good. And yeah, like you're saying, Zatchable Gamer, Moses' abilities are really kind of neat and interesting. He's this weird, crazy surgeon who doesn't seem to have much combat capability, but can do these lightning fast repairs and surgery. Lightning fast surgery. Right in the middle of a battle, creating life out of other life, and repairing himself from grievous wounds, and doing many other things. Very interesting. Arugasuto Barudirudo! As they continue to fire, firing at... They're still firing at Moses? Yes, they are. The shield appears over Libra. It's the same shield spell he used before. Now it's amorphously covering his entire body and deflecting Zakaraga in all kinds of directions. This is a crazy set of panels here that show, they have to draw all of Libra. It's very detailed, crazy monster, and then on top of it they have to layer this shield, which is not like a full orb around him. It's very close in on his body, and even covers this tentacle in the back. It covers just that tentacle, and it extends up. It's a lot. There's probably a lot to work on for IQ and his assistants. But Moses was right. Libra is now fully defended. Barry tries some more hand strikes. So, even though it's withering away, it can still cast spells with this much power, huh? I'll take this opportunity to finish repairing you, Libra. Just a few more modifications to increase your strength, and I'll amplify your healing factor while I'm at it. Just leave everything to me. Barry grabs Libra from within the shield. And he picks him up fully. I know these pages are very hard for you to get the word bubbles right for. And so he picks Libra up fully, this massive monster, probably weighs hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. Definitely thousands of pounds, actually. Picks him up fully. What? I think that's Moses saying that. No, that's Barry for you. We are so damn lucky that guy is on our side. I would love to hear Jason Spizak delivering that. That would be wonderful. Barry jumps off the roof, holding Libra. No, of course, he did a great job on him. Definitely worth it. Moses. Libra. Probably all screaming as Barry angles Libra right down, headfirst impact with the ground, and once again, Libra just exploding when he takes damage. The shield can withstand Zakaraga. It cannot withstand this impact. The hexagons coming apart from each other, and Libra just suffering grievous damage on his head, which may well kill him. Especially now that we see his eyeball just falling out. He's just seems done. Barry stands above Moses. Didn't you say something about how you could rework this creature to make it even stronger? There's a lot going on in this spot right here. I feel a burning fury towards you and your cohorts. This might be a picture from when we saw Barry earlier during the flashback, interrogating that one guy. Then we see Momon being injured. I feel inspired by that sudden arrival and what it could mean. We see Barry's partner Gustav from behind. Barry's this scary without spells. Let's remember how Braga was with spells. Right now, I just need a little more stimulation to calm this raging storm of emotions. I hope you like my Chris Abbott impression. So you're going to power this beast up to the very limit, and I'm going to grind it into dust. And yes, true to the Chris Sabat impression, this is the true Vegeta inside Barry coming out. Vegeta famously did this. May have been done in manga before then. Probably the most famous instance of this sort of thing being done, of letting the villain stay alive because you want them to power up so you can have a good fight, was done by Vegeta during the Cell Saga in Dragon Ball. And now Barry is asking the same of Moses and Libra. So he will give Moses some time to repair Libra again, increase his strength, increase his healing factor. Barry is confident that he will still win. Could this cause some conflict with Zatch and Kyo? Probably. But I have a feeling Barry will make it through. Maybe Zatch and Kyo will need to help if it's a little more than Barry thinks he can handle. But I have a lot of confidence in this huge, massive guy. Yes, it was an interesting discussion. You bring that up. The fact that Barry says this finally gives me good reason to believe that he wouldn't have been the ideal Demon King after all, Zatch Bellhammer says. Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. It's not a very kingly decision. It's not, diminishing risk, right? It's creating risk to everyone. He's in a heightened emotional state right now, but perhaps, that is when it is most important to make rational decisions as king. And yes, I think there were many people who, in the first series, were saying, "Oh, Barry would have been an awesome king. He would have been a great king." Here we are seeing maybe not in certain situations. So that is interesting, right? Kuti gave him a flaw, as you say. So that's not quite the end of the chapter. We have one more page. There, the infirmary is on the first floor of that building. Momon, we're nearly there. Please hold on just a little while longer. Momon is still unresponsive. Demons, seize them all. Umagon, let's send them packing. Spellbook shining. MERU, MERU, me. Here we go. Going on. Rushing in to meet the enemies. Maybe see some sort of combat next time. I'm not sure. After this, you translated the ad for the Zatch Bell online shop, Mochinoki department store, which has some new products. These little memo clip stands, they're called, that they move a little bit. We have these bottles and things with, weirdly, a ROPS bottle, popular in Moto. But I don't think he's had any merch. And then just some basic Gash Bell stuff. So there you have it. I didn't see this yet. This character name page for Sunbeam. Oh, you're saying, I think Umagan's Ghost Shooter Rook shows his ears in this form now. Yeah, I think that might be a difference, yeah. Because I think that was maybe also visible on the sticker. Nobody noticed that. For a human, this can only be translated as Kafka Sunbeam. This has been the accepted spelling of the name throughout fan translations of all things. Konjiki no Gash, that's true. The English joke localization omitted the A at the end of his name, not sure why. But the translation team does not see any reason for this rather bizarre change that Viz Media made to it. Yeah, I don't really get that. I don't hate on the Viz translation, especially since I think the guy who did it is pretty cool because he's a working actor who's been in several shows and movies, who also happened to translate Zatch Bell. But that is bizarre. I don't really understand the dropping of the A. I mean, that was in the anime as well, wasn't it? So it may not have been him who decided that. It may have been whoever was doing the anime first. For Dot, this could be Dot or Dotto. The translation team believes the name Dot is pretty apt for child demon. Makes sense, hinting that he is small in size. Wonder if his sister's name is something related to that. Point. Dot and his sister Point. So thank you to everyone who worked on this chapter. Does the Two-Horn one do color stuff for every chapter? Should I check those? I link the Google Drive to a friend every month to read, but I don't see those if he does those every month. That they're not added at that point, so I don't see them. Sister's name is Anna. Okay, so it's not very not really related to that. Penny. Penny, I don't understand it either. Patty, yes, it's not spelled like you would spell Patty in English, but then you could have just changed the spelling. I don't really understand the switch to Penny. We don't know why the logic in these things always happens. We know why Zatch is Zatch, and that name I will be in support of. Okay, so he doesn't do one every month. I saw his Weaver Zakare one. So, yeah, some of the names I don't understand. I think if they ever do another translation of the series, it would be fine to keep Zatch as Zatch, I would say. That's how everyone knows the series, and I think it's a cool name. And Raikou doesn't appear to mind it very much. But everything else should maybe just be called what it was called. Ponygon I don't terribly mind either, but it's just a little clunky. So yes, this chapter, he finally got Ponygon back. He wasn't in the toilet paper all month. I took that off pretty soon after the last chapter. Sadly, there is going to be a break. I think we all kind of saw it coming. There's going to be another break after this chapter, so we're right at the start of that right now. And it's going to be about another 2 months until we get chapter 30. Big milestone, chapter 30. What was chapter 30 of Attack on Titan? Let's see. I'm curious. I will sometimes, not often, check Zatch Bell 2 up against Attack on Titan to compare the plot progression. This is still female Titan arc, but near the end, at least the end, it's the end of the forest part of it. When they're leaving the forest, they're kind of defeated by the female Titan, and they're going back to town where the final confrontation with the female Titan, eventually takes place. So that's interesting. So we're reaching the end in 4 chapters of this major Attack on Titan arc. It'll be interesting to see where Zatch Bell 2 is at that point. Chapter 33. Things may be very different. Okay, so Zatch Bell Gamer says we're lucky that there's a break because Amazon's going to be making my extraction of the chapter a lot tougher until the internet figures out a solution. If we absolutely have to, print screen screenshots will do fine as an emergency option. I have heard about this. They're changing the way that you can get and download ebooks, something like that. I'm sorry if this is going to make it a little more difficult for you. But yes, like you say, hopefully a workaround that makes things easy will be discovered, and if not, you can just screenshot the pages. So where to begin with this chapter? It was another exciting, mostly combat-focused chapter, except for the fact that Ponygon returned. He is fully back. It was very great to see. Great 2-page spread of him exploding out of the sarcophagus. It was great to see him reunite with Sunbeam, and there was a little, sort of saying hello to Zatch, but I think we'll be plenty of seeing Zatch ride Ponygon later. One somewhat surprising thing is that Ponygon is not currently talking. I can imagine Raikou probably thought a lot about this, and whether to implement it, how to implement it, we don't know. If he could be saving it up for a little joke. Literally, this would be the 3rd time he's done that. First with, oh gosh, what was the snake Mono's name? I'm blanking on it right now. Remember, he went Yanko. And then it was revealed towards the end that he could talk. And then he did it with Zoberon in the cafe. So it wouldn't be the first time, it would be the 3rd time he has saved Moto being able to talk for a joke. Of course, historically, we know Ponygon couldn't talk. A lot has been made of that thing, including in the cafe, where it was a big plot point. It was used to create a very emotional moment where Ponygon was given the opportunity to use letters and words to speak on a board, and he thought about telling Sunbeam his real name, Schneider, but instead he decided to embrace his nickname of Umagon and just say, tell Sunbeam that he loves him, which is really beautiful. Probably many people's favorite of the bonus cafe chapters, I think. And so, hold on. We might have a webcam issue here. I clocked that immediately. Gotta switch and then switch back. No idea why it happens, but it happens. Zatch Bell Gamer says that I couldn't find any Japanese about Umagon not speaking. It seems this might be a concern for mainly the overseas fans. That is really interesting. And I don't like, it's just if you read the series, it froze again? What am I doing here? I mean, look, I'm at the discussion stage. I don't necessarily need to be visible moving, but if the stream is not, can I just check? The stream is not moving. That's still annoying. So yeah, I mean, we saw that Ponygon's parents could talk. When they were adults. We thought Ponygon would probably get the ability to talk when he grew up. It would only make sense. So it was, a strong possibility, and I think even somewhat expected for a lot of readers. But apparently not Japanese people, you're saying, which is very interesting. Maybe they just like the mascotness of Ponygon. Yeah, so the webcam's frozen, the mic is fine. I don't know why that's happening. Makes me less jittery, though. I am moving it all now. So, what do I think about it? I think I would have liked to see Ponygon talking. It would be cool to see him be able to express himself. I wouldn't particularly mind it if he doesn't. I'll get over it pretty quickly. It's not a major thing. It doesn't annoy me as much as anything from last chapter. And it's just great seeing him back. He is the final member of the game. We now have everyone back, which is, in its way, I'm going to reset the webcam again, we'll see. In its way, a little bittersweet, right? Because that's a lot of the biggest character appearances. We certainly have, though, a lot of beloved Momoda. Now that's doing me dirty right there. What is that expression? I'm going to see if I can... This sucks, so I'm not using this. We'll just leave it if it goes bad again. So what was I gonna say? Oh, right, bittersweet. So the main reason to me, this is something I'm thinking about, why Ponygon coming back and having the main team plus Brago having already returned is bittersweet to me, is because in terms of building the best possible Zatch Bell community situation, the best thing to happen would have been for a new anime to be announced, like, it wouldn't have happened, but let's say like around Conchame arc, right? And the new anime could start airing right now. And so we'd have this huge swell of Zatch Bell fans, people coming into the Zatch Bell 2, the manga, which in my mind would not be the anime coming out. The anime would be a continuation of the original to cover the clear arc. And all these new people reading the manga, and then Ponygon comes back. And imagine what that would be like. And, the longer we go without a new anime, which I've always been very willing to wait for, we're still missing out on having them work in simpatico with each other to just generate excitement and discussion and all kinds of fun, which is a silly way to put it, but it's just, that's kind of the best way to put it. So that I don't really like, there is a part of me that says, God, I just wish we had a new anime going right now so we could just have all this love for Zatch Bell going on all at once and have so many more people be excited about the return of these characters as they're happening. Now, if we get a new anime, that's going to be enough of a win just to have that. Right now, I'm just thinking about it like I just wish we had more fans here to see all these. And, we do have plenty of characters left, right? We have Kalulu, we have Patty, we have Zeno, we have Earth, we have Purio. We have several more. Wanrei, I mean, come on, one of the most popular characters. And yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, like you're saying, Jasper Gamer. Like, I'm not saying there won't be an anime. I've always been fairly optimistic about the eventuality of there being a new anime project, and I still am. I just kind of wish they get a move on with it. You know. Zatch Bell, as I've said in past streams, it has a way of coming back with new projects. Whether those are small, like little collaborations with merch, or whether they're bigger, like Zatch Bell 2. It never lays too dormant in one state for long. So I do think it's still fairly likely that there will eventually be a new anime. The time just needs to be right. The studio needs to be A, not busy, B, passionate about Zatch Bell, and I think there are plenty of studios where that would satisfy both of those requirements. And I don't think Raikou, the expectation might be, oh, Raikou is like hard to work with, right? He's like litigious or whatever. That does not matter in 2025. I don't think anyone cares about that. If anything, a lot of people working in the industry these days, anime which is connected to manga, probably think Raikou is cool for doing the lawsuit. Even higher ups, who probably weren't higher ups when that lawsuit happened, are probably like, I kind of respect Raikou for sticking to his guns, sticking up for himself and his fellow artists. So, apparently, if Demon Slayer's near its end, if UFO Table takes that spell, then it would be a dream come true. That would be incredible. And if that's the case, I sort of hope they do movies. Movies are kind of my preferred way of getting the series, just because imagining the end of Fado and the Clear arc as a movie, I mean, it's that would be incredible. Like, just come on, just to think about it. And seeing that would be a better chance of getting it dubbed if it was movies, I think. Which, I mean, the possibility of that is so great. I would frankly love to see the old dubcast back. I don't know what would happen. I would love to see at least Jason and Debbie return to the roles. I know Debbie's a little older. I think she can still mostly do that voice fine. I mean, they're a lot older to be clear, but they are voice actors. They keep their voices quite well. Jason, I know, they've both been working very frequently since then, and so plenty of the other cast members. And I mean, Melissa Found, one of my favorites, she's one of my favorite characters, Ed from Cowboy Bebop. I'd love to see her come back for Tia. And yeah, I mean, obviously, the Ponygon MERU Mea was doing this chapter was the dub, I can't do that. I can't do the Japanese one. I think Ponygon Japanese VA recently had a birthday. So yeah, that was my little Zatch Spell anime discussion corner. So, we saw a ton of new spells from Libra. These electricity spells are super mysterious. There's not too much more to say about them. And, as expected, we got to see Barry kind of go ham on Libra, just like Brago did with Zillion. There's new Jimmy Neutron coming out. Not that I heard. I know I lightly follow the guy who created Jimmy Neutron. I haven't heard anything about it. And let's see. I can look it up. I never saw the movie, Where's the show page? Here it is. You are right. There was a report recently. Screenwriter Adam Pava, not a name I know, unveiled that a potential new film project based on the character was in the works since December 2023. I wonder if the creator of the character is involved in that. I mean, let's see. The director of the show is, but that's not the guy I'm thinking of. Interesting. All right. I mean, for fans of that show, that's good. I was not particularly a fan of Jimmy Neutron. I didn't really like the way it looked. I don't know. I just didn't find it very interesting. John A. Davis did create Jimmy Neutron. I didn't know that. I thought Steve Odekirk was the actual creator of it, but I guess Steve just Maybe was more of a producer or writer on the original movie. Anyway, yeah, that'd be cool for fans of that. And it'd be cool for Debbie to have that again, obviously. So no, not a hoax apparently. I just did not hear about that. I'm super interested and excited to see what's going to happen with Libra. How Moses will continue to improve him. Will he get even more monstrous, or will it be the classic shonen thing where the stronger he gets, there will eventually be a point where he gets like more slimmed down and less monstrous? I can't wait. Maybe Moses will fuse with him somehow. That seems pretty likely. They're already almost there. I like Moses like hiding out inside his weird folds of muscle. And I'm looking forward to that. I think Barry's going to get a little more than he bargained for, but I think they're going to be able to fight him with Zatch just fine. And maybe Zatch will get to use the Thunder Dragon power again. Which, if he does, I think would show us that there is, kind of a steady trajectory of this manga, that it's going somewhere. You know what I mean? A lot of people are kind of still wondering, well, how long is it going to take for it to kind of get into a new arc? Which, like I said, this is kind of our first real team fight. So we're moving somewhere. I think we're going to start getting a lot of team fights from now on, just like in the original series. They kind of made that switch during the Millennium arc. If Libra gains more sentience or something as Moses develops it further, that'd really be something to see. I mean, yeah, Libra's clearly already pretty intelligent. I don't know if he's perhaps gotten more intelligent since, the previous chapter. We saw him talk quite a bit this chapter about how Moses is, going to kill Moma and he's going to eat more spells. I don't know. You wonder if Libra could eventually grow to become a creature like the one that took the spells in the first place. That would be an interesting connection. But that definitely would be horrible for the hero, so I don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, like I said, I think this arc, I said a chapter or two ago, I think this arc is not very close to ending, and I think that still kind of holds true. We're in a sense only at kind of the start of the real conflict, at least with Zatch and Barry. And Ponygon, they're going to come up against some opposition, right? And they have a new spell called Shupok, I think, right? Really interesting name for a spell. It's Ponygon's first non-Shooto-Rook spell. He had before, he got spells very rarely. Got his first two spells immediately, Shooto-Rook and Go Shooto-Rook. Then he had Dormer Shooto-Rook, the Fire Armor spell, and then of course Shin Shooto-Rook, which, his final spell, right? It's his Shin spell. We thought maybe that's it for Ponygon, But clearly, like with everyone else, there are other avenues of spells that he can unlock. I saw an interesting theory on the Discord that I think Shupok resembles an onomatopoeia for train, and that so it could give Ponygon some train cars to carry people in. I don't know why he would need to use that right now, but that would be very funny and very fitting for Raikou to do something like that. Zatchbell Gamer says there's a chance it'll involve his horn extending like Ria's Piku Garunio spell. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Maybe we'll be able to, we'll get wings to fly. He can fly with Shin Shooto-Rook anyway, which is such a cool spell. The Jet Warrior Ponygon. I love Shin Shooto-Rook, and I'm glad we got to see it colored just once on that volume cover. Once again, something that would be so cool to see animated. So yeah, Sunbeam still looking a little weird. He still doesn't really look like the old Sunbeam too much. Another big question, what is the status of the relationship between him and Elle? We don't know. It does kind of seem like Elle might not be a nun anymore. I forget if we saw any rings on the fingers. We do, right? Yeah, we do. There's a ring on Sunbeam's finger, which, once again, things like that don't just happen, right? Like, you draw that with your, the artist draws that with his hand, it doesn't just happen. That's something you put some thought into, so pretty likely they could be linked up. Which would be big congratulations for them. I'm sure God would not mind for Elle to leave the cloth to be with somebody. I'm sure she would be forgiven for that. Um, let's see here. Yeah, so does Elle have a ring as well? So I mean, there you go, right? I would say it's likely they're already married. It's been a while since the first series. That'd be great. That's a great development. I have long been of the opinion that it is somewhat likely that Kyo is secretly married because, once again, that would be an extremely Raikou thing to do. And we would not see that until we would return to Mochinoki City. I don't think there's a high chance of that. I think it is somewhat likely. uh, so, yeah, Barry's the kind of the star of this chapter, really. We get to see his real stuff that he has. It's similar to the Brago chapter, except with a very different enemy. Libra is a very different enemy than we've ever seen before. But Zatch comes through in a pinch, right? Other than that, Ponygon's revival is super exciting. There's not too much else to talk about. There's some great art later in this chapter. No double page spreads during the fight itself. But we have some crazy splash pages and panels. But, once again, Libra being covered by that shield is just like a lot. That's a lot of work to do all that. And yeah, but Barry's gonna let the fight continue. So yeah, I hope you get to see this arc continue. We got to see some new abilities and new things from Ponygon and Barry and Zatch. Are Conchime, Fugore, Zelly, Mippy, and Olmo still in Japan? Can they please stop by Mochinoki City soon? I think it's got to happen eventually. I don't know what Raikou is saving it for. I think there simply be a reason. There needs to be a reason for them to go back, right? It's possible that Belial is going to go after Kyo's family. It's possible that there is something important there that is linked to Kyo and Zatch. Maybe someone there is supposed to be another book owner. Maybe there is something else that Kyo has there. Maybe Kyo needs to go back there to unlock his answer talker again for some reason. Maybe he needs to go and ask his dad something about the stone tablets or whatever. Wherever his dad might be. So his dad might not be in Mochinoki. But it's gonna happen because it's simply too good not to happen, right? To see Suzume again, who's probably still there. To see Naomi again, of course, to see Kyo's mom again. I'm sure it won't be just them. We already saw the teacher again. He's in Vegas as TM Lee, living his best life. It's simply to see Kyo's friends again. Kaneyama, the base Yamanaka. What's his other friend's name? Ino something. To see them again. I mean, come on, it's too good. So Raikou is gonna do it. Just a question of when. And it's also a question of when, Conchime, Fugore, Zelly, Mippy, and Olmo will return to the story and do some more stuff. I imagine Conchime is probably pretty well healed by now. Zelly, Mippy, and Olmo clearly do have a part to play. We don't know if Olmo and Mippy do have some sort of mysterious secret purpose, but Iwashima, right, thanks. But we do know that Zelly has had a Chekhov's gun on the wall since a very early chapter of her spell MERU, and we also know there was a spellbook that appeared to Kyo's assistant Zara back in Africa. So put the pieces together on that one. We're going to see that pay off at some point. Hopefully Zelly can be a pretty good fighter and give us a little reminder of the old series with the with the kids, with those poor kids having to fight. I think that's pretty much all there is to talk about. Man, what else is there? Is there anything else? Golden Memories ended last month, right? No, it didn't end last month. It ended in between, so that's over now. Sadly, for people who play that, I didn't get back to it. It's sad, right? It's because now that's never gonna happen in my life, right? I'm never gonna get back to Golden Memories. But I would say, and I think I wrote this on the Discord, and maybe even said it last month. My sadness at never having gotten back to it is less than my happiness that I did not spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on a game that was going to get And that's not to insult anyone who did spend hours on it. If you liked it, it was worth it. And of course, for you, Zatch Gamer, you are serving an important function of recording the story and the gameplay for the future. And I'm very happy for that because I wasn't playing the game, so I'm going to watch anything you put out on that game, see what the story is. Why are there all these sheep girls walking around? Why are there like a million of them? I don't know. I can't even refund my crystals. It's impossible unless I take a plane to Japan. That sucks. How many did you have? And how? I mean, so you spent money on crystals? I'm not saying that. As I've stated, I have spent a lot of money on fake Grand Order, so there's no judgment. I'm just wondering, because if I recall, you got them pretty steadily in Taokizu. But yeah, it's a shame. Another Zatch Bell mobile game, not only gone, but gone in about a year, which is as long as Golden Memories, which once again I really loved, lasted. But it's good that it happened, Sad that we didn't get any really interesting, unique characters. We got a couple different versions. I think there was like an idol T.O., right, and there was a Halloween Conjume, which is interesting. But we didn't get anything really cool like that. Choose your Momoto ticket. So it's something you could buy in the store where you could roll for a specific Momoto, or you would get a free Momoto along with the crystals. They're always crystals too. They're always some sort of crystals. In Fate Grand Order, they're Saint Quartz, which is that's just crystals. It's just a type of crystals. The currency is never not crystals. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with the rocks that are in the ground. It was about $52. It's interesting. Yeah, no, it was. I mean, as we discussed, it was a tough situation for NeoWiz, the developers, and everything else. But onwards and upwards. Like I said, Zatch Bell always comes back. So if there's nothing else to talk about, I think we will probably end it there. We've been going for about an hour now. Good length. Viewership's dropped on these streams. That's never been why I do it. It's always nice to have people in the chat, and it's great to have you in the chat. But especially since viewership isn't really changing very much and it's kind of dropped. That's why I might just kind of start doing the streams earlier, if that works better for me. But in order to do that, I have to not take like these massive long naps when I get home. So we'll see what happens there. It eliminated the need for one Moto to be gacha. You could just unlock it. I don't remember that. I don't know if they had that when I played, or if I saw that they had it. And yeah, of course, near the end of the game service, they definitely boosted the rates, which I think is always kind of what happens. I have. Let me see if I can show this. Oh, so even you dropped off a little towards the end. Fair, hey. So I have the graveyard here on my phone. Oh, this looks awful. I have the graveyard folder. So it has Miitomo, right, which I really liked from Nintendo. That was one of the first apps. It was a weird kind of social media thing that, this is so me. This is like so me coded. This is like so something that I like, which was, it was all about answering questions. There was always questions. Every day you could answer a few questions. And you would see your friends' answers, and you would give little reactions to them, and you would get, then there was the other part where you could just dress up your me in clothing, and I was just like totally unrelated. That's all based about questions. Very interesting and very Nintendo. We have Mighty Doom, which also for being based on a pretty big property and being bankrolled by a big dev, did not last very long, because there was some kind of legal thing, I think, where they lost the license. We have Attack on Titan Tactics, which I enjoyed. We have Taokizu, and then we have Movie Pass, which I think has resurrected, but it's just funnier. Okay, come on. It's just funnier to keep it in the graveyard folder, because of what a crazy, you might say a shit show that Movie Pass was. if you're aware of anything that happened with that app. We're just blurry now, I guess. But don't they take up storage of the app? I don't know, probably. It's just funny. Because I probably couldn't get these icons here again if I uninstalled these. You know, we can open these and you can see this is Attack on Titan, which is Denna, just like Taokizu. Had something to do with Denna, I believe, right? So look, there's still a little intro. And then it's just going to say you can't play the game. Thank you for playing Attack on Titan Tactics. The service to provide Attack on Titan Tactics has ended on 8/30/2020. You can't play it. So there you go. Too bad, so sad. It was a fun game. It was weird for a strategy-based game. They never increased the level of strategy that you would need. They never added new wrinkles. And I think that was just a tough sell for people. It was a non-combat focused, kind of direct combat focused game. And I think they have another mobile game going on right now. I'm not sure what that one looks like. But yeah, that's the Graveyard. I do enjoy having that as much as, it's sad for the apps that get added to it. Also shows you how relatively few mobile games I have. I used to have Near Reincarnation. I should have installed that before it ended, so I could have added it. But I think I uninstalled that one. But yeah. I think that'll be it for this month. Got on some good tangents. Next 2 months from now, it's going to be his time. It's going to be his time, baby. It's going to happen. In the in-between month, I may stream some video games. I've been wanting to stream the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach DLC. That may happen. Was there anything else I was considering streaming? I'm not sure. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe keep an eye for that if it happens. Thanks to anyone who watches in the future. If you have thoughts on this chapter, please leave a comment and I will read and respond. For now, I will bid you good night.